Hello. Hi. So, yes, it's part two. Go watch part one if you haven't, because part one is very important to understand what I'm going to be talking about now, this video. So, if you watch part one, you know that I talked about the background. I talked about the themes of the album, and I talked about Sixto Rodriguez himself to give you some idea about what the album is about. And now, in part two, that's a two by the way, we will be talking about the actual music and the meaning behind each song, and I'll even give some critiques of the songs and give a little bit of a rating. So yeah, let's jump into that. Right. So the first track in the album is, of course, "Sugar Man," famous song. Most of you know, should know the tune. It goes something like "Sugar Man," you know. Yeah, it's a bit iconic, you could say. Sugar Man, yes. What is Sugar Man? Well, Sugar Man is a song, a very well-produced song, I would say. I'd say when Rodriguez made this, he knew the sound that he wanted. This is a very good song to start the album with because it highlights the beautiful acoustic of Rodriguez, his beautiful vocals. Not beautiful, but certainly suiting for this particular album. And also the ideas behind what will become the future of the songs and what he wants to present. So this is, for a starting track, this is very good. Very good. Okay, so going off from the lyrics, one can suggest there is an emphasis on drugs, which is actually, this is a little Reuben fact of the day. This song was banned in South Africa because they found the connection to drugs, which was illegal at the time. They ran a pretty tight ship there. So yes, this song, it's very much about the consumption of drugs and the attitude of the consumer, and also the attitude of the world to consumer of recreational drugs. So obviously, Sugar Man is a personification of drugs. One could suggest, because it's sugar, that it's cocaine. Another could be heroin, because that, of course, comes in a white powdery substance. But yeah, it's a drug. He's the personification of the drug, and the first person point of view in the lyrics is asking for Sugar Man. He wants Sugar Man to come. He needs him to make his life better, to make it more colourful. This song does very good at pulling you into the world of the user, and this can be this can be linked back to the point I was making in part one about the implications of free will, and also how Rodriguez is using this album not only to critique the state and government of the modern world, but also the consciousness of the culture of this modern world. So, what can we infer about this from a personal point of view? This song is about how there is a vast amount of despair surrounding reality, surrounding the real world, and people are finding it hard to cope in that world. So Sugarman becomes a distraction almost, or a medicine to combat this distress and loneliness. And there is an obvious sign of addiction and longing from the user for Sugarman. Sixto chooses, I use choose very, I use that for a reason. He chooses not to make any reference to law enforcement or anyone trying to stop the user from getting Sugarman. This, I believe, this is my opinion, this, I believe, is because Rodriguez wants to tell us that the state and the government don't really care about the person, the person. They're not going to do anything. They might ban it like they did the song, but people are still going to want it, and people are still going to be upset with the world they live in. And there is no mention of the government or anyone trying to fix anything. It's just about wanting to escape. There is no attempt to make the world as it is better. Sugarman is the only answer they have because there is no other alternative, and there is no way to actually make the world what they want it to be. It is quite depressing and really awakening, which is why it's such a brilliant, I reiterate this, a brilliant track to start off this album called Cold Fact. Cold, blunt, it's a fact. A cold fact. Okay. And yeah, that's what I have to say about Sugarman. If I were to give it a rating out of 10, as a song, as a standalone song, I give it a 10 because it is brilliant on its own. But, this as a starting track to an album like this, it goes beyond the 10. It's really amazing. You need to really think about what you listen to, because people, when they hear a song, they can, ignore, in a sense, the lyrics. It can fly by without any notice. Lyrics are there for a reason, just like the drum beat or the guitar strings plucking or anything. Anything that's included in the song is meant to be there for a reason. The artist wants it to be there. Listen. This song is good. And it is made good not because of the sound, but the lyrics. I will stand by that. I think this song is truly a work of art because of the lyrics, not the instruments. Instruments, they're good. They do help. The lyrics are raised because of the instrumentals from the band. But this is a masterpiece because of the writing and the thought behind the words. So yes, this song is a 10 out of 10. So let's move on to the next song. We have, the next song is Only Good for Conversation. This song is not exactly, I think, just looking at, no, it's not, but it's the second least popular song on the album. Mainly because it's very short. It's a short song, and it's on the nose for the most part. You can. It's not very interesting. It's not very thought provoking or complex, but it is a good song. Don't get me wrong, it is. But compared to the rest, I can see why it's not as popular as the others. If you have tracks like Sugar Man and Crucify Your Mind, So this song is very, all the song. I'm going to say this now because otherwise I'll have to bring it up each time. I don't really see a clear difference between the instrumental parts of the music. They're very similar. The acoustic guitar, the drums, the bass. It's all very much the same beat. They all play the same. So I'm just going to say that, but I like it. I do like that. So I'll make that clear now. But I'm not going to go over it for every song from this point on. So the lyrics to this song, Only Good for Conversation, I believe is a conversation between someone and someone they're friends with because they're only good for conversation. Throughout the song, they make observations that the person they're speaking to has no good qualities. The person speaking doesn't like them. He doesn't actually enjoy their company that much. They don't see them as a really, fun person. And that's quite obvious just from the amount of insults thrown their way. And yeah, I mean, that's it. That's what I mean. It's not very complex. I mean, if you do try to dig, I guess you could find that maybe Rodriguez is trying to critique that we as humans aren't exactly we can't enjoy all our companies. That's one of our flaws. We're not all interested in each other, and we can't all find maybe the good in each other. That could be a point Rodriguez is making, because that does connect with a very common theme throughout these songs, which is the inherent failure in people. That people fail, that people aren't angels. That's a clear idea. This song is, it displays that. It's definitely a step down from Sugar Man, but it's not bad in any way. It just doesn't carry the power that Sugar Man has, which continues throughout the album. It just doesn't do a whole lot, and really it's not very memorable. I wouldn't say many people particularly list it as their favourites. Scoring this one, I give it a 7, solid 7. It's closer to an 8 than just a 7, but it is a 7. I'm not going to do decimals. I don't believe in that. They're all fractions aren't really. Who even gets that? No one gets that. No one can teach you fractions. Fractions are like freaking calculus, but harder. Okay. Now, I try not to be biased, but Crucify Your Mind is perhaps my favourite song from this album. It's a beautiful song. Beautiful. I don't know, that sounds sarcastic. I don't know why. I don't know why. I need a drink. It tastes like mint. That was horrible. Okay. Sorry about that. That was really random. Crucify Your Mind. Sorry. Oh my god. Sorry. I'm sorry. I am. No, sorry. Crucify Your Mind. My mind's like gone blank from that. What even? That was so weird, wasn't that? Weird. Crucify Your Mind. This song is very much a beautiful song, but also a depressing song, and just it's powerful. That's a good word to use. It's powerful. It's a powerful song. I'd say it's more powerful than any other song in this album. It's the most powerful and the most impactful song to me. It means a lot to me. From this song, the main gist of it is that this person, the main character, is, telling to the face of this person, you're not special, you're not unique, you think you're going to do something revolutionary, but all your ideas have been done and you're not any good. And it's a very interesting, the Crucify Your Mind part is very interesting because in the song, I can't exactly do it word for word, but the main character basically tells the person, I was born for the purpose that crucifies your mind. Now this is the main character saying to the person who wants to achieve some great hefty goal, they are saying that they were born for something that they cannot understand, and in fact will almost like biblically kill it. It's such a good way to, it's so cool, it's such a good way to frame it. So I think what Rodriguez is doing with this is he is saying that to a lot of people, an ordinary life, a life which isn't, coupled with fame, is almost a life one cannot imagine living. It's a life which some with high aspirations deem, if one lives it, to almost be sacrificial. Say a mother become, one view is that a mother who dreams to become an actress gets, she can't because she has to raise her children, so she becomes a nurse. She gives up her own aspirations, her high-reaching aspirations, to be a mother. And that is seen as sacrificial in a way. You are sacrificing your own life to do something, to live another life. I think that's what Rodriguez wants us to, he critiques that way of thinking because it's not always the case. Some people just want to do things which are, for lack of a better word, normal, like being a barber. I don't think there's a lot of, hairdressers in the world which started out with the aspiration of doing something great. They want to cut people's hair because that's what they want to do, and they found a purpose in that. But of course, someone whose entire life has been set on becoming like Hugh Jackman or Cary Grant or Fred Astaire, they can't grasp that. They can't understand that. They think, what's the point of doing it? Well, surely you want to do something a little bit more, cool. And that's what I think so great about the song. Is it tells you right to your face. It tells you right to your face. It confronts you. It confronts you on whether or not what you're doing is actually unique and actually special. And if what you're doing is for fame or it's because that's what you want to do. That's what drives you every day. And it's critiquing everyone who looks down on people who just live normal, average lives. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful. It actually is really fucking self-aware. Because Rodriguez is exactly that person who was born to play music because he is so talented, he is so good. But he never achieved fame in his own time. Almost like a Van Gogh. He didn't do it because he wanted to be seen as the great Rodriguez. He did it because it's what he wanted to do. Rodriguez is an artist, therefore he creates art. If he was a barber, he would cut hair. If he was a garbage man, he would be throwing bins into places or whatever they do. That is the point of Crucify Your Mind. It crucifies your mind. So I will give this song a 10 out of 10 because it is, I've said that the beat, the instruments is so similar throughout the songs, but behind the lyrics, these instruments shine and they soar. So I'm giving this a 10 because the instruments are beautiful, the lyrics are beautiful, they're smart, and it is a breathtaking song. So that's a 10. Crucify Your Mind. Alright, this song is, this is the full title. This is not a song, it's an outburst, or The Establishment Blues. Hefty title. So this song is it's a protest song. It is so obviously, he does not hide it. That's what's beautiful about it. He does not hide that's a protest song. He's not ashamed. I remember I watched that famous interview with Bob Dylan and all those. He's on this big panel and he's smoking and he's got his big hair, and he meets the man, and he's talking to all these reporters, and they ask something about him making protest songs, and he's like, "I don't make protest songs, man. I create music." Yeah, it's yeah, sure. I mean, I can believe that, but Rodriguez is obviously, he's made a conscious decision to make a protest song. And what a good protest song, honestly. The lyrics, they're not just making fun of, it's an interesting protest song because it's not making fun, or it's not protesting just against the state and the government, people in power. It's protesting also against society and people, their attitudes and their behaviors. It's really quite a really interesting protest song because it attacks everyone, not because of their class or their background or their race, but because of their attitudes and their behaviors. He is protesting against a shitty world, quite to put it frankly. And yes, that's it. But it is so good. The lyrics are really good, and I'd honestly, you gotta listen, and got you have to listen. I mean this. Listen to the lyrics. Listen, and you will find gold. Like you're a prospector in the desert. I found gold! Yes! I found gold! It's Rodriguez's lyrics. That's what they would say if prospectors mined for good lyrics rather than veins of gold. But that's obvious. You, you probably got that. Rating this song, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's good. It's good. It doesn't you know, the impact is such a good continuation from Crucify Your Mind, but it just doesn't impact me as much. So I'm giving it a 9, but I do really like it, and a 9 is pretty fucking good. And the next song, I'm actually going to I have to just do a little bit of a cut because that I don't. This thing can only record for about 30 minutes. That's why I uploaded this into 2 parts. This thing can only record for about 30 minutes. It's at about 28 minutes. I'm not even halfway through the album, so I'm just going to stop here, and then I will start with Hate Street Dialogue. So yeah. Hello. Oh, yeah, there we go. That was really weird. Yep, I'm back. Okay. Hate Street Dialogue. This is it's doing a little bit weird. It's being a bit glitchy for me. I don't know how this is going to look. Christ. Oh, okay. I think it's fine. Okay. Hate Street Dialogue. So it's yeah. I mean, it's Hate Street Dialogue, the iconic song. Iconic is a very this iconic is not a strong enough word to use for it. It is a massively iconic film. Massively. Film? Sorry. I meant song. Actually, I might have said song. I'm getting a bit confused here. But I won't waste any more time getting a drink, even though I'm a bit thirsty. But I need to get on. I need to finish this. So this song, approaches what the previous song, the really long one, the previous songs, it approaches what the song was aiming at when it aimed at people. This song is a very strong critique, and it almost borderlines on characterization of bad societies built along hate. So this is interesting because it's a song where the narrator is walking along a street and witnesses all this hullabaloo of this horrible things happening. Mothers on the side, frickin' with their babies, and doing all sorts of things, bad things. It's critiquing the behaviors of normal people, sinful behavior. I don't know if he was Christian. I assume because he was Native American that he probably worshipped some goat god or like a skinwalker. I don't know, but this song is very whoa. Sorry about that. I thought I saw something. I'm getting. I need water. I told you I was getting hot. I was getting thirsty and hot. I got this blanket on. I'm in the same clothes as earlier. You don't know what's in this. You don't know what's in this, do you? That's my secret. Hate Street Dialogue is one of those songs which just really get you. You can really feel it, if that makes sense. You can feel the song. You can feel the emotions behind it. You can feel the symbolism. It's a good ass song. Not a lot more to say. I do think it really does well as a sequel to the Outburst song, because it goes at a place which you don't expect a lot of songs to go. You don't expect a song to attack you because it's more probable that the person listening lives on a shitty street than someone who lives in a big mansion up in the suburbs. So I think it's a great song to listen to, and also very daring. So I give it a 9. Yeah, a 9 out of 10. Okay, next one. Forget It. A song which personally I might get a bit of backlash for this, but I'm not a particular fan of Forget It. Yeah, I could forget it. yeah, but it is from me looking at it as a just looking at it without any objective view, I can see the goodness in it. I can see the good qualities shine through. I just think one of the most important aspects of a Rodriguez song, in Cold Fact and also in all of his discography, are the lyrics, which is one of the problems I also had with Only Good for Conversation. This song is very lackluster in the writing department. It's very simple, there's not a lot, it's not very catchy, and frankly, I can't find a good message in it. I considered looking up the meaning behind the lyrics, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted to formulate my own opinion. I didn't want to use anyone else's. From what I can, uh, oh, good news. But from what I can infer from what I can see from the lyrics, it's just about human nature, kind of like inability for people to properly connect, especially men and women who are in a relationship. It's hard to find connection and to really, create something which holds for a long time. It's hard to um, it's hard to make something work that isn't working, and you could. This is stretching a bit for me. This just feels, I'm really going out there, but it feels like you could use that to talk about the relationships between governments, governments and people, individuals and governments. It's, you know, you can do that. I don't think Rodriguez necessarily planned that. I think that's me putting more thought into it than he did. But within the realm of the album, you can find plausibility in that outlook. I don't believe. I just think it's kind of lackluster. I do. Yeah. Um, it's a fine song. I give it a 7. Yeah, it's a good 7. Good, really solid 7. So next song is Inner City Blues. Also, I hadn't actually thought about this. It's saying it out loud. It's really good. He made a lot of songs critiquing just people and their sort of living conditions and behavior, but this song is different in regard to Hate Street Dialogue or the protest song. It's a song which critiques the modern, a modern city and modern life as a result of someone else. So, like a mayor. I think it's wrong of me to not know this, but I do actually think like one of the first lyrics is about the mayor doing something. But I'm sorry, I don't remember that. That might be one of the other songs. But this song is very much not critiquing actually people's like the normal people's behavior, or it's not critiquing culture in any way. It's critiquing their treatment and what is done for them by the people in power. And I think that's really good. It was especially powerful in South Africa during the apartheid era because people were not happy with how some of the people were being treated, especially those. No! Can you? I don't actually know if you can call them that anymore. You know what I mean, though. Yeah. 10 out of 10. Good song. Next is a song I like probably my second favorite song, coming after Crucify Your Mind. I Wonder. It's a very good personal song about people's expectations and people's cultural expectations. So the whole song is framed in this question model. So the narrator says, I wonder how many women have you had sex with? I wonder. And then he keeps asking, he keeps asking. So this can be very much interpreted as a look into expectations that people have for other people and for themselves. You know, how many people have you slept with? Yeah. If it's high, then I'll respect you more. How much money do you have? If you have a lot, man, I'll like you. It's also about culture, because in a more like modern West, like America, you can be judged very severely based on how much money you have. A homeless man is way less respected in America than Donald Trump. Donald Trump, the rich man president. President is higher than a homeless man on the scale of respect. And also, if you're a virgin in America, you can very much be subject to bullying, rather than Chad Brandenson, who has slept with Cindy, Laurie, Chelsea, Rebecca, Kitty, all in the same night, plus more. That guy, he gets a lot of bro fists during gym. So yeah, it's I like it because it exposes kind of like the way we question people and also ourselves. It's like before we can, we all are interviewers in this way because we all judge people by what information we know about them. We don't, we have to know things about people to know if we can respect them, or we can like them, or if we can hate them. It's I find it very personal for reasons I don't care to explain, but I'm sure you can feel it. I'm sure you can feel why it can connect to someone. I'm sure it connects to you. I'm sure anyone can connect to this song because it is just that good. 10 out of 10. Next song. Okay, Like Janice. Like Janice, I don't know if you could hear that. That was me starting the song. I just needed to look at the lyrics because it's way at the end. I normally don't. I listen to this album, but then like just after halfway through, I get kind of bored and I switch to something else. Okay. This is a lot like the actual themes and the actual messaging of the song is a lot like what I was talking about for I Wonder. It's very much about how we measure things and how we judge people based on other people. That's kind of what sets it apart the most, because it's about judging someone on someone else, which can be even more personal for some people, because if you have maybe a sibling maybe your parents will have a favorite because one is good at freaking, I don't know, piano, and you aren't. And when they bring home a trophy, your parents will maybe say, "Oh, why can you win a trophy? Why can you be as good as them?" That's kind of the personal thing. That's kind of what separates the themes. Not a lot else is different other than it's looking through different tinted glass. It's a different reflection of the same object. Um, it's a good song. I do think, because I like I Wonder, so you would assume I'd like the song. I do like the song, just not as much because um, I think what separates them actually the most for me is the instrumentals. I can't really describe why I like I Wonders more than like Janice. I just prefer the flow of the instruments with the lyrics in I Wonder to like Janice. That's really what separates them and why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's a very good song. It's very intelligent song, and it can be personal to people who aren't like it can be personal to other people more than I Wonder can, and I'm sure that is the case a lot. But to me, this is a personal review. I rank it lower than I Wonder, so yeah, 9 out of 10. Next one. Gamera, a nursery rhyme. This is actually the least popular on Spotify. I'm using the total views. This is the least popular song in the album, and it's I mean, just like You're Only Good for Conversation, it's similar because it's the lyrics are very they're not heavy. They don't they're not filled with a lot of that Rodriguez juice. Um, and it's quite on the nose, but it's a nice. It's a good message. I'd say I really like this song because it goes into propaganda and or what's the word? Indoctrination. It goes into the indoctrination propaganda to young children. And it talks about how the things that children are taught at an early age really shapes their worldview. Like how you tell a child that a woman on the streets is bad, so they'll think that women on the street are bad. They're bad. That's how their world is created. What this does is it actually the narrator singing to the children actually breaks down these tropes to the children and basically tells them uh, these people aren't, this isn't good. This is. He gives them the reality check that they desperately need. One other interesting point is the title of this song, Gamera, or actually Gomorrah. I think it's Gomorrah or Gomorrah. I don't know. Um, if you are not as religiously educated, or you don't really, um, you've not driven into theology at all. That was one of the two cities between the Dead Sea, that and Sodom, which were destroyed by God because of their sinful behavior. Of course, um, we know Sodom. You might recognize that because it's when I won't say. But this is interesting because it's the impact of having that in the title and the song itself, the lyrics implies that we very much live in a very sinful time with sinful people. And it's about exposing that to children, about giving them a reality check, which is what Rodriguez is doing in this track. I'll give this I give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I don't think it's perfect like some of the other ones. I think some of the others are perfect songs. This is not. This is not perfect, but it is very good, and you should listen to it because I like it. I do. I think the lyrics are a lot more intelligent than people believe. Okay, second to last song, Rich Folks Hoax. That's a mouthful. Rich folks hoax. Rich folks hoax. Ha, I can keep saying that, and I will keep saying it. No, I won't. Just joking. This song is a clear attack. Did I say that right? Clear attack on rich people, but also it is a somewhat attack on normal people for how they how would you say how they place themselves under the rich people, so poorer people. So this song is very much a critique of the behavior of rich people and the kind of things they do and the lack of humanity they have for other people, the lack of empathy. Yeah, for other people, especially those below them in the economic sense. That is very good. I think it's very impactful because we those who do not have a lot hate, well, not hate, but despise people who have more than they have. We don't like it. I'm one of these people. I don't have a lot. I don't know. This isn't a mansion. Wish it was, but it's not. I don't have a lot. So I am envious, and I therefore despise those who have a lot more than I do. And that's, something that it's really poetic. It is. We have such a selfish nature. We have such, we can only think in terms of me. And that's kind of what Rodriguez sets out to believe, because he doesn't just, anyone can in his lyrics. He does not create a species of rich people. Anyone can be rich, and it's their behaviors, these rich behaviors, which are bad, not the actual people. Do you get what I mean? But it also goes into the pedestals poor people put the rich people on, because they are given this sense of inadequacy when compared to the rich people, because they almost feel like they are obligated to be beneath them. It is their place, and they will stay there. And, of course, that is not the case. And the way Rodriguez paints it is, we feel sorry, but we also feel like, well, what are you doing? Are you stupid? Are you a dum-dum? He does that, and it's a lot more, it's a lot more impactful that he does do that than if he didn't, because otherwise it would just be another critique on rich people, which, as good as a critique like that is, it's been done 100 times, 100 fucking times, and people get tired of repetition. Repetition is death. Yeah. But the song itself is very poetic, and I like it a lot. I give it a I give it hmm, I give it a 10. 10 out of 10. I do think it is pretty good. It's a pretty good song. Okay, the last track. Jane S. Pity. I know I probably should know this, but I'm just going to have a look at the lyrics. Yeah, okay. This, I remember now, this song is maybe one of the most beautiful and heart-wrenching songs ever made. Why? Because this song goes to a place which everyone, I believe this, everyone can relate to, which is that feeling of inadequacy and the self-death, you know, the spiral that we go into. It tells the story of this person who wants to be loved. He has this love for this person, but he can't get himself to actually confess or to get anything going. But it also goes into the spiral of self-doubt and the self-hatred that is felt by this person. It's interesting that this is the last track of the song. In the first part, I talked about the power of state, government, and our free will. Free will. Well, in this song, the in this song, this is very much a reflection, I think, that he is trying to create of people in general. We hate ourselves. We want a world, but we cannot reach for it because we hate ourselves and we hate other people. We are hateful things. Because we have free will, we also have free room to hate ourselves and to hate other people just as much as we have room to love each other and to love ourselves. But Rodriguez creates this depressing look that we are inherently spiteful. No, he says that in this culture, in this now, in the present, we are not emotionally intelligent enough to take the goodness that our free will can grant us. Instead, we spiral into this existential hatred. Think about it. I'm going to take a break because this is running out of time. I need to start again. Just think about that for a second. I'm back. We are free to express any emotion. This guy, remember him? This can be anything we want it to be. It can be happy, sad. It can be anything. It can be more than that. But the culture we are in, Rodriguez says, is a culture which does not allow us to properly grow and to properly express itself. Our freedom is trapped in a system which does not understand it. We are in a time when we cannot grow. We are like a flower under a plant pot. There are little holes at the top where light can come through and water can drip. And there is soil beneath us, but we are engulfed in shadow, to the extent that from what we do grow, we don't grow very much. We stay small, we stay weak and unhealthy. We'll never reach our full potential, even though, think about this, outside of the pot, the flower can grow as much as it needs to, as much as it wants to. But inside the pot, it's limited to the pot. Each of us have our own prisons, each one different in size, different in scale. And we create these prisons. We try to reach out, but when we become scared, the prisons shrink and our reach shortens. Some are given opportunities and privileges that others do not to break out of their cages, or at least make them think they are. I would say that Sugar Man is the illusion of one breaking out of his cage, and I would say the rich people are the ones who have found ways to make their cages big enough so that one forgets one is in a cage, but they're still there. At the end of the day, when Sugar Man goes away, you'll be back in your small cage. You'll remember, you'll see all. And eventually, when the rich walk far enough, they'll realize that they can't go any further, even if they wanted to. And this is a somber and not very inspiring end to the album. You could say it's a cold fact. Now that seems a bit corny to say that, name dropping it like that, but I think that's what it is. I think that's the cold fact. We are not perfect people, and from what Rodriguez critiques is very much the creation of our own. We limit ourselves, we are our own limiters. If one man lived alone in the world, he could do whatever he wanted, except for everything he told himself he couldn't do. This song, J.S. Pity, is profound, sad, but ultimately beautiful. Beautiful in all the wrong and right ways. I give it a 10. I'd say it's a perfect song. Not my favorite, but certainly it is the best choice out of all these songs that Rodriguez could have picked to end it the way I believe he planned to end it. He opened the album with Sugar Man, a kind of fun, groovy, but kinda somber song. And as we progressed, we became less and less enthusiastic. Instead, we felt like there was this bitter taste circling through the air. And maybe we hoped for a light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe we hoped that what we would get would be something which could liberate us. But no, instead, we got something which was not an end of a tunnel, but instead a mirror. Something we could look into, something which we need to look into. This is not meant to make you feel complete and utter despair. No, because that is exactly what the song is commenting on. The spiral of hatred and the spiral of despair. Instead, you must look at yourself. You must look at yourself in the mirror, faults and all, with every blemish and every sin plastered through you, both physical and spiritual, and you must say, "This is what I am. This is who I am. I know what I am now, and I should know what I have become. But I will be better because I want to be better, because I don't want to be a fucking depressed, self-pitying loser. I want to be more than that. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to be this way." And that's what the cold fact is. It's the truth in the pudding. It's the mirror in front of your face that you didn't even know was there. So, that's the album review. Probably, I probably should do a score out of 10 for the album. It should be obvious that I think this is a masterpiece. I think this is the magnum opus of Rodriguez. I think this is Rodriguez. I'm only sad that he decided to set himself on fire before he could realize the impact he had on people's lives and on culture as we know it today. Out of 10, I give this album a 10 because it is, it's very simplistic and childish to call it perfect. But I don't want to waste, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I just want you to know that this is something worth taking time and listening to, because I really think it has evolved me as a person. Beautiful songs, beautiful lyrics, all from the mind of a very beautiful Native American man. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you decide to subscribe and turn on notifications and like this video. This is a bit of a long video. I think it might be my longest one. So if you are here at the end, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.